If we are seated in our self-respect, then we earn respect from others. And this is a very beautiful law, that self-respect makes you earn respect. And it has to be like this, because if you can't respect yourself, why would someone else respect you? Yes. And what is self-respect? In the face of anybody's words, behaviors, or in the face of any physical condition or any external situation, I do not stoop down from my soul conscious behavior. My words, my thoughts are a reflection of how worthy, how elevated, how virtuous, how powerful I am. So even if the person in front of me or the situation in which I am there, they do not send the vibrations of respect, I do not feel disrespected, I do not stoop down from my stage of self-honor, where I know what should be my thoughts, my words, and my behavior like. I do not fall into the trap of their words, their thoughts, and their behavior. So this is being seated in self-respect. Now you see that these days, because we are in Sangam Yuga, so Baba is telling us about true self-respect. True self-respect is knowing that you are the child of the Supreme Soul Himself, and that every soul is, I the soul at least, the one who is being sustained by Baba and who is in yoga with Baba. Such a soul is a very rare soul, and I the soul am not ordinary. I am very worthy, I am very valuable, I am very virtuous, and because of my disciplines of following Shrimat and the discipline of having yoga with Baba, I am slowly becoming like my Baba. So my Baba is the ocean of virtues, and I am also the master ocean of virtues. My Baba is the Almighty, and I am also the Master Almighty. So I have this self-respect. I know who I truly am, and I honor the fact that I am this, and I behave according to who I am. And my sense of self doesn't come from anything on the external world. I am not what I do and what I have. I am who Baba tells me I am, and I'm restoring myself to that dignified, elevated stage. And in that dignified, elevated stage, I behave as I am. I think as I am, I speak as I am, and I act as I am. And my thought, word, and behavior is not affected by where I am or who I am with, or what are the circumstances, or what is the condition of the body. I am always in my most dignified and elevated thought, act, and behavior. Now, this is the seating yourself on the seat of self-respect. And you see, when you do that, then you are not absorbing anybody's energy that is coming your way. So let's take an example. Somebody is talking very rudely to you, calling you names, or just being themselves. They are telling you whatever comes to their mind. But even while listening to all of that, you are not affected by their opinion of you. You know who you are, and your conduct comes from a place of who you are. So you do not choose the words which reflect their energy. Your words are coming from a place of self-worth, peace, love, purity. Your behavior, your response is coming from who you are. And then what happens is, when you do not absorb their energy, you are able to influence them with your energy. So who you are will start having an influence on them, and they will start responding to you in a different way, in a way where they have respect for you. And you see, in history, there is a very good example of somebody who is stable in their self-respect. And although that self-respect is a little body conscious, but still there is a very beautiful example in history, and I would like to say that. So we have all heard that there was this battle between Alexander and Porus, and then Alexander held Porus as a convict. And then when Porus was in chains and he was taken as a slave by Alexander, then Alexander asked Porus, "How do you want to be treated?" And then what did Porus say? He said that, "I would like you to treat me like a king treats another king." So you see that in that moment, while he was taken as a convict and he was in chains, he did not forget who he is. Not because his situation, current situation, did not take away his knowing of who he really is. And he said that, "I want you to treat me like a king." And Alexander also treated him like a king, because if he is seated in self-respect, then he will earn respect. That's the law, that's the rule, that's the spiritual rule that's out there. So Baba tells us that even if there is a change in conditions, maybe yesterday everybody was treating you very well, but today everybody is questioning you, or maybe yesterday there was a lot of money, but today there is no money. But don't start conducting yourself, or don't begin to get affected by your present conditions, and don't allow your thoughts, words and acts to be influenced by the present condition. Just hold on to who you really are. Just hold on to your inner dignity and speak, think and act the way you would. So let's say somebody is blaming you constantly, then you don't start explaining yourself in the light of being affected by that blame, but just keep conducting yourself as you are, truthfully. And when you start doing that, you will earn the respect back, because you did not stoop down to whatever they were saying, or you did not stoop down to that situation of blame. And let me tell you one thing, let's consider the opposite. Let's say somebody is not behaving well with you, and then they are treating you badly, and then you also start reacting to that situation. You also start, let's say somebody is saying that you are not honest or truthful, and then you start saying that look at yourself how you are, and don't ask me, just look at yourself what kind of a person you are. And then you see that what have you done? They are questioning your worth, and you have also started playing unworthy. You have also started behaving unworthy, because any soul who is not maintaining their peace, their stage of love, their knowledgeful, powerful state while conducting themselves, they are stooping low. So they are charging you that you are not worthy, and you also are proving them right by behaving as if you are a worthless soul. So you are actually substantiating whatever they are saying or however they are behaving. But if they are doing what they are doing, but you keep being yourself, then you will be able to send a message that no, whatever you are saying or doing is not me. Yes, so this is very important. And I will tell you one more example. So there was this Mata, and she was in Gyan, and she used to run a boutique. And she had a neighbor and a fellow person who also ran a boutique in the same place. So just 100 meters apart, there were two shops. And this Mata told me once that, Didi, the other person, the other businessman, he keeps defaming me. So he keeps saying, that this woman doesn't know anything, and she's uneducated, and she has no degree in fashion, and she's just running a boutique. She's just a small time tailor and who has taken up this big job. And he keeps saying these things, and then he says nasty things about my character and this and that. So I said, okay, it's okay, but you are not that, right? Are you any of the ones he's saying? So she said, no. So I said, if you're not who he is saying, then don't behave like that. Just be yourself. You are dignified, you are educated, you know what you're doing, you know your job. You just stick to that and do your job as well as you can. And then she said, okay, but Didi, that's not possible. You see, if constantly somebody is disrespecting you or trying to put you down, somewhere, you feel affected. And this, I said, that's the challenge. That's what Baba is teaching us, that you have to maintain your self-respect in the face of disrespect, in the face of humiliation, in the face of troubling situations. You have to just maintain your self-respect. And then she kept denying, Didi, that's not possible, that's very difficult. And then you see, I'm the victim here, and why does the victim have to take the responsibility? The perpetrator has to be, punished, and these kind of things she kept saying. And then what happened is, after maybe 6 months, I came to know that she has lost most of her clients. And she kept saying that, that person is spreading this word constantly, and that's why I'm losing all my clients, and people are falling into the trap of what he's saying. And she kept complaining about this. And then I happened to meet some of her clients, because they also used to come to the center. So in one of the conversations, I asked them, why did you stop buying stuff from that shop and you switched to the other shop? So that whole group of ladies, what they told me, they said that she makes the finest quality of cloth. But the thing is, these days, all she does is, she doesn't focus on her work. All she does is, when we go there, she wastes our time, makes us sit, and tries to explain that she's not this person that the other fellow is talking about. And she tries to, to tell us that that person is bad and this and that. And there's a very big shift in the atmosphere of her shop. And she's not giving good service. She has increased the rates also. And the atmosphere there is not good, and we don't choose to go there anymore. And you see that she keeps saying that the other person ruined her business. But did he? No, he just tried to. But who ruined the business? She herself. So it's not what's done to you, it's how you respond to it. And the thing is, if you forget who you are because somebody is constantly questioning it, then maybe you are actually what they are saying. So Baba says that if somebody is saying the opposite of who you are, somebody is always labeling you as somebody you are not, then why do you get affected by it? You keep reinforcing who you are through your thoughts, word and behavior, and actions speak louder than words. So who you are will always be reflected in your actions. You don't have to argue and put across your point that, I'm not what this person is saying. No, you have to behave as you are. And when you conduct yourself with dignity and grace, when you conduct yourself as a virtuous and powerful person that you are, then slowly, the other one will also realize. And it may take time, it may take 3 months, 4 months, 1 year, 10 years, but slowly, gradually, you will be able to send that message that I am worthy of respect, and you will earn that respect. And respect is not demanded. You cannot argue somebody into respecting you. It is commanded when you perform when you behave or you conduct yourself as a person who has self-respect. And this is something that we have to keep in mind. And if we don't understand this dynamic, then what happens is you start absorbing everybody's energy and stooping down from your self-respect, and you lose your respect further. Instead of re-establishing it with desperate efforts, try to just be yourself, and the wind will change and the atmosphere around you will shift slowly, gradually. And I also want to put forward one point here, that if somebody is not able to understand who you are through your behavior, and they are so, they have this what we call kacha kaan in Hindi. So they have this this lack of ability to discern whether what is being said is true or not, then I don't think that you have to be desperate to convince such a person that you are good and right and dignified, because such a person's opinion doesn't matter. If a person cannot see who you are, but they are hearing it from somebody else and they are concluding who you are, and they are disrespecting you based on that, or they have this lack of discernment, then I don't think that you should even consider their opinion, or you should consider that I should be worthy in their eyes. So a person who doesn't have that discernment is not worth fighting for. So don't be desperate to convince such a person. And not every soul's opinion should matter to you. And some souls will always operate disrespectfully because that's their sanskar, and if they are not working on it, you cannot make them change their opinion and then behavior. And you mustn't be after changing their opinion and behavior. You mustn't make it your life's agenda to change their opinion and behavior. For them, you should have this idea: you are welcome to the opinion that you have. Okay. And I will also share another example in this regard. So there are souls who have different sanskars, and then there is this very big sanskar called gender bias. And people have gender bias, and people look down upon one gender and they hold another gender in high esteem. And I faced one of these situations, and there was a brother who entered the door of the center, and I was sitting right there, and he said, "Is no one available?" So I said, "I'm sitting right here." So he said, "No, no, I'm talking about some man who has to be available here. You're a woman." So I said, "There is no man available right now, and maybe, if you feel comfortable, you can talk to me, and I would try to answer whatever you are asking, and if I'm unable, I will arrange for some man to answer it tomorrow." So I just said this, and then we started talking, and then after half an hour, he was okay, and he felt that his queries are being answered, and he felt that okay, he found the one he was looking for. And then after the session, when he was leaving, I said, "Do you want me to arrange for someone else tomorrow?" So he said, "No, no, you're good. I'm sorry, I didn't know who you are." So you see that this is how you don't have to startle at the fact that somebody is not able to appreciate your presence or your value or whatever, because they are coming from their own place of bias. And the best you can do in this situation is just be yourself and behave as you are. And when you do that, chances that they will get it are very high. But if they still don't get it, then don't be concerned about their opinion, because if somebody still doesn't get it, then they are not worthy of your brooding that you should care about their opinion that much. So this is something that Baba is talking today. And then today there's a lot of talk about body consciousness, and Baba says that we have created a lot of burden of sin in the past. Yes, and 63 births of the burden of sin that we are carrying. Do you realize that we have 63 births of the burden of sin? Yes, and we have thought, spoken, acted body consciously. And body consciousness has many, many aspects. So we have one body consciousness manifesting as many things, and there is a lot of there is a whole this what do you say, there's this whole range of feelings that we create, how we think, the attitudes that we have, or how we see everything, or how we respond to situations. All of these idiosyncrasies of behaviors and thoughts and whatever we think is very unique to us is also coming from body consciousness. So how you perceive things, how you respond, what matters to you, what doesn't matter to you, how you feel about a situation, how you feel about any behavior, all of that is coming from body consciousness. And if you look at it from the point of view of Gyan, we are very highly body conscious, because 63 births of burden of sin we are carrying. And Baba says that in this state of body consciousness, it becomes very, very difficult to imbibe the knowledge that Baba is giving. Yes, so imbibing knowledge, one thing is knowing what's the right way to do things, or knowing what should be done, what shouldn't be done, that's knowledge. But really acting out of it is another big deal. So you see that, let's take the simple example of this Srimad that treat everybody with love and respect. So just treat everybody with love and respect. Let's take this one Srimad. Are we able to imbibe it? Are you able to treat everybody with love and respect? So, no. Why? Because there's a lot of body consciousness about if somebody is younger to you, then they have to be obedient to earn respect. And if they are not obedient, they cannot be treated well because then they are wrong. Then you have another aspect of body consciousness that children don't need to be respected. Yes, so children don't deserve respect. So anybody who is a 5-year-old or 6-year-old, they don't deserve any respect because that's just a child. They may deserve love, but they don't deserve any respect. And you don't even recognize the presence of a child, do you? So if there's a child sleeping in the room, or it's a 1-year-old, 2-year-old, then do you even mind their presence while speaking, while having conversations in their room? Maybe you mind their presence in the light of the fact that they might get disturbed and wake up. But do you understand that every conversation that you're having in that room is being heard by the child, and they are absorbing that vibration? So we don't even recognize the presence of children. We are so body conscious. And then we don't think that anybody who is younger to me and disobedient deserves any love or any respect. Or if there is somebody who is my child or who is in the role of a younger sibling and they are not doing their duties properly, they are not being obedient, then you have every right to block your love. And what do parents do when children get bad marks in the exam? So when they come with the report card, the first thing the parent does is blocks his love. So you don't talk to them nicely, you don't treat them well, you just tell them that you're good for nothing and you block your love. So that Shrimat is not being regarded, or it is not being put into practice. Why? Because we are very body conscious, and in this world we have learned how different souls deserve different degrees of love and respect. And based on that whole programming of body consciousness, we cannot give the same degree of love and respect to everybody. And then there is this another idea that anybody who is wrong according to me doesn't deserve love and respect. Yes, it could be anybody. It could be and again, there is this thing about even when elders are wrong, you don't argue with them, you don't speak at your speak to them in the face, but you lose the love and respect from within. So you don't have that energy of love or that energy of respect for them, but on the face of it you have to behave well. So all of these things are part of the body conscious programming that we have cultivated, and this doesn't allow us to imbibe the knowledge or the direction that Baba gives, that you have to be loveful and respectful to everyone and each one, come what may. And then if anybody is wrong according to me, then my first right is to withdraw my love and respect from that person. So in the house also, when you live in the Lokik family, sometimes you don't even ask if somebody has had food, because according to you they have done something wrong. So something as basic as have you had food, you wouldn't ask them. Why? Because according to you they have done something wrong, and you wouldn't give them the you wouldn't give them proper facilities because you think that they don't deserve it, because they are wrong according to you. Or you don't even give them the basic human respect the dignity of life that a human deserves, because you think that they are wrong and they don't deserve it. And people are beating up maid servants, and people don't refrain from slapping somebody who they are paying. And these things are happening. Why? Because you think that this power paradigm, or whatever you think is, you are higher and they are lower, that decides how much respect and love they deserve. Or somebody is from a different caste, then they don't deserve respect. So these kinds of things are all programmed into us, and that is why we cannot perform according to the Shrimat that Baba is giving us. And Baba says that this is the burden of sins that you are carrying, and until and unless you finish this burden of sins, it will be very difficult to imbibe Gyan. And that is why Baba says, where do you start? How do you start the process of burning your sins or clearing the burden of sins? How do you start the process of coming to a place of soul consciousness and coming to a place where you are able to understand and imbibe Srimat? So Baba says, begin by being Nidra Jeet. Begin by making effort to be a conqueror of sleep. And the first effort that every Brahmin needs to make is getting up early and remembering Baba. And Baba says, as early as 2, as early as 2 in the night, you must get up and just sit in soul consciousness and remember Baba. If you want these burden of sins to lighten. Otherwise, what will happen is, and we see this happening in and around us, and we see this happening in our own lives, that we are listening to Gyan, but our actions and our conduct remain the same. So it's not changing. Neither is my attitude changing, nor is my conduct changing. Why is it not changing? Because we are listening to Gyan, but this burden of sins, which is manifesting itself in the form of body consciousness, is not allowing me to imbibe the Gyan that I am listening to, and not allowing me to act knowledgefully. And Baba says, in order to finish that burden of sin, you have to start by being a conqueror of sleep and waking up early and sitting in the practice of soul consciousness and in remembrance of Baba. So would you do that? Because this is what Baba says is the first step. And if you can't take the first step, how will you reach the aim and objective? So Baba says, just take the first step. However much difficult you find it, just start getting up in the morning. And if you can do it consistently for 21 days, it's very good chances are that it will translate into a habit, and it will take less and less effort every day to do the same thing. So whether you have to put an alarm, whether you have to do anything, just get up. And I remember there was this one Mata, and she said that I used to put 3 alarms, get up at 3:30, but when I got up, I used to sit and sleep. Just my head would fall this way and that way, and I would just sleep. So then she said, what I did, Didi, I took green chili and I put it in my eyes, and with that, because it burnt, I couldn't sleep. So that's how I conquered my sleep. And you see that I'm not recommending you to do that. I'm just sharing that this is what the Mata did. And Baba says that, an honest heart counts. And she says that, intent that I want to get up at Amrit Vela and remember Baba. Because I did this for 2 days, I don't know what shifted, but after that I could naturally wake up, and until today I have very good Amrit Vela. So every effort that you take to follow Shrimad is recognized by Baba, and Baba gives you the courage and the strength to fulfill your intention if you make that honest effort. So every effort counts. So make an honest effort to get up, and Baba will wake you up, and Baba will make you take the first step in the right direction. Okay, Om Shanti.